Okay, let's roll right into hearing from our winning team. Today's exciting 8th running Great Clips 200 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and what a finish it was. And our race winner, driving the number 8 Chevrolet, is John Hunter Nemechek, and he's joined by his dad and truck owner, Joe Nemechek. And I believe...
Thank you.
And crew chief Jerry Kinnan has joined us here. Congratulations. John Hunter, your second career win, which is great. But most importantly, young man, you've qualified for the chase. So talk about that new revision in the Camping World Truck Series now, where you're going to be competing for the championship.
Yeah, it's a great way to get our second win. This time we didn't do it on fuel mileage, so I actually got to do a burnout tonight, which I was very excited to do. But being locked into the chase, it's something that you have to do. You have to run up front. You have to contend for wins, and luckily we got our win here in the second race of the year. But now we can go out, we can run as hard as we can each and every week and just go for wins, not have to worry about points.
And Jerry, talk about how the race unfolded. What you all had to do on pit road to get to where you were able to on that last restart to have a chance for the victory.
The biggest thing is that pit crew, but like in the race, we started off, we tightened up, but not near enough. And that first pit stop, even though we gained 4 spots, we did some major adjustments, and those guys pulled us through. And then that last stop, all we did was put tires on it, and he tightened it up enough. I'm just glad there wasn't, but like, if it had been a full run, we could start getting free at the end. But for 20 laps, we was on the money, and I knew he'd get up on the wheel and we'd get her done.
Good deal. And Joe, certainly you've been in victory lane several times during your career as a driver. You've been in there as an owner. This is the second time. What's it feel like to be not only the owner of this winning truck, but the father of the winning driver?
I tell you what, I can't remember what year it was, but I was sitting in the center seat here. I can't remember what that was. In 2000, 2001, 2002.
Right.
And
right.
Now to be back, we have pictures of that, and John Hunter's just probably 3 years old in victory lane. So now to be back with him being 18 years old and he's driving the wheels off our Chevys, it's an incredible feeling. Not only as a dad, but as a team owner, as just a fellow worker. I mean, we're out in the shop along with Jerry and our few other guys, just working our tails off, trying to figure out how we're going to get to the next race and how we're just all the business part of it. And it's tough. I mean, it's really tough. So days like this, when we come in, I still consider our team an underdog team, and it's so gratifying to have a win. And I know, Jerry Kennan and myself, he's my partner. He's John Hunter, my partner in this team, and he puts a lot of work and a lot of effort into this, and it's fun. It's fun racing. The business part of it, where we struggle on the financial side, that's not fun. But when we get down to it, we work and try to figure out how to make our stuff better than the rest of the guys out there, and I think we're doing a pretty good job.
And Joe won the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here in March 2001. So that's what you were referencing, Joe. That's 15 years ago. So,
doesn't seem like that long ago now.
John Hunter was a 3-year-old then. So we'll take some questions now. I believe we might have one up in the press box. So let's start up in the press box for this team. Go ahead.
Yes, Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. John Hunter, how did you come about to sit with Kevin Harvick for 30 minutes to an hour, and what was the most useful thing that he told you last night?
Yeah, that's kind of a secret of how I did that and what he exactly told me. I can't give all those secrets away, but can't thank him enough for all of his help. I talked to Dad quite a bit also, but Kevin's one of the best racers here at Atlanta, so I had to ask him. He's very good at conserving tires, very good at winning races here, so to go and talk to him was very special.
Any other questions in the press box?
All clear.
All clear. We'll come downstairs Let's go to Stan, and then we'll go to the gentleman up back on the back, and then to Kenny and Rick.
Stan Creekmore with RPM tonight. John, Hunter, have you ever been at a racetrack where you visited before but never raced at, and here you are the very first time racing and get a win?
I did the same deal last year at Chicagoland when we got our first win. So coming to racetracks that are new to me as a driver, not as a kid, I guess I should say, they've been very special. We've been able to adapt very quick here at Atlanta. I wasn't very happy with our truck yesterday. Luckily, Jerry Kennan, myself, Dad, our whole team sat down and figured out what we had to do in order to go fast here. It's all about tire conservation, being there at the end. We made the right adjustments all day. We were one step ahead of everybody else, I feel like. So I can't thank all of them enough for making the right adjustments on pit road. And obviously our pit crew, I mean, they gained us over 16 spots today. So hats off to them.
Let's go to the far right, and let's go to Rick Minner, and then we'll go back upstairs. Go ahead.
Jacob Seelman, 3 Wide Life and Race Chaser Online. One for John Hunter and then one for Joe. John Hunter, the restart with 15 to go, you almost got to the lead, and then Bell gets around you and is going away into the distance and then blows the tire, and it sets up the late race restart. With all the ups and downs at the front of the field late in the race where it seemed like if you were in the lead, it was a bad position to be in, what's going through your mind on that last restart before you get the win?
Well, it was what line I wanted to pick, whether it was going to be the inside, outside. That last restart, I had a pretty good drive on the outside, but Jerry came on the radio, and he was screaming inside, inside, inside. So luckily, I listened to him and the spotter, Jason Jarrett. We took the inside, and the outside restart, you just couldn't go. You just spun the tire so bad, and luckily we got the jump. We had the fastest truck there at the end on the bottom, and it turned out good.
Joe, John Hunter's got 2 wins in this truck now. You put yourself in a position to be solidly in the chase. How does this team not have a full-time backer behind it yet? I mean, you guys are still working on piecing it together, but is this one of those runs where maybe you start looking and seeing if the phone rings, maybe get a full-time backer on this deal?
Well, that's a good question, and we've got a lot of folks out there trying to find sponsorship for our truck, and I ask myself that question all the time. How can a kid so good, knows how to talk, knows how to act, knows what's important, how can we not have a sponsor? And I haven't quite figured that out yet, but we have some stuff in the works. Just, it's just trying to piece it together, and it's tough out there, but we're making a lot of progress. We had some good folks with us today from our Phone Fuel, and Barry Gilbert from Barry's Bullets, and his friends are here. Just a lot of good people are behind us, but we still have to get that. We got to get a main sponsor on this truck every week so we can. There's so many more things that I know I want to do and things that Jerry wants to do that can make our team so much better. And it's just tough when you can't do it, and it's you're worrying about other things. So these moments, both as a father, as an owner, I'm just so proud of the guys that I have that work so hard to make all this come through. And I got one of the best drivers in the garage right here. And I know that question was asked. When you go to new tracks, we haven't been down here and tested. When qualifying happened, most of the guys were in the front, came down here and tested. We've actually only had one test. Actually, we have had 2 tests.
No, we had one.
We've had 2 tests in John Hunter's career driving trucks. Is all we've tested in the last 3 years. Two tests in 3 years, and I feel bad for John Hunter because we haven't had the funding to go. If you go test, you learn so much more stuff, but it costs. I mean, you go do a test, it costs just as much as it does to go to a race. So we focus on getting to the track every week, but we take our late models out and go and run, and every track we go to, he's the guy to beat. So he's a heck of a racer. He's gonna have a good run at the championship this year, and he'll be in the Xfinity and Cup championship one of these days.
I got to add to that really quick. luckily, not being able to test, I have two of the most veterans here in the sport, from Dad and Jerry Kennan. They like to do stuff kind of the old way, old school. All their experience, all their knowledge, I've learned from. Dad has taught me everything that he's learned in a 20-year period to me in a 3 to 4 year period. So it's sped up my learning curve. And then bringing Jerry on board, he's taught me a lot about these trucks. He's been in the sport forever. Adjustment-wise, setup-wise, what is important each and every week that you go to the racetrack. I mean, he's been to these racetracks forever, so he knows how the race is going to play out. So I can't thank these two enough for all that they do. They're probably one of the hardest ones working in the shop. They're there the earliest, and they're there the latest. I mean, we all three of us normally are there decent early, and then we're the ones shutting the light off at night.
Let's go to Rick Minner right here in the middle, please.
Actually, my question got answered earlier, but sort of as a follow-up, not to just to beat the sponsorship horse, but do you have people that come along like want to pay like half or a quarter what it's worth because of your situation, and you tell them no because you feel like you need to get the full price, or do you have people that try to pull that take advantage of you, so to speak?
Well, it's not so much people trying to take advantage, but a lot of times you get down to it. Some of the companies that have come to us maybe don't have the marketing dollars available to do things. So, but we have some great partners on board. Our Farb Technic guys, great folks. Foam Fuel, Barry's Bullets, Riley's Root Beer, Chevrolet. I mean, there's a lot of guys that help us. But I mean, to take and be competitive in this series, it takes a few $1 million to be competitive. And it's hard to round that up on a weekly basis when you're out there beating, we're on the phone every week. I mean, we're making hundreds and hundreds of calls every week trying to find dollars, and hopefully this will help.
We got room for plenty of a bunch of little ones, if that's what
Yes,
they-
sir.
Coming back up. Let's go back upstairs to the press box. Go ahead.
Lee Spencer, motorsport.com. Congratulations, guys. Really happy for you. And for somebody who has seen how hard you guys have worked and have been in the shop, what you guys were able to do tonight and go against Toyota with their budgets is pretty amazing. John Hunter, what you did on that restart when Christopher got into Suarez and Crafton, what was going through your mind? Because that's all happening so fast in front of you, and the way you took action to avoid that, and then, just hung on. I mean, can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so taking you through that, Christopher jumped to the outside of me. He had a great run around the outside. Suarez jumped up in front of me. I don't know exactly what happened between them, but all I know is I started seeing trucks spinning, and Jason Jarrett, our spotter, came on the radio and said, check up, clear low, need to get to the bottom. So I turned as hard left as I possibly could. I know the 88 was up in the air spinning when we passed him, and I was just hoping I wasn't going to get clipped in the right rear from them coming down the racetrack. But heads up call by the spotter. Luckily, he told me where to go. I listened, and it brought us home clean. We had a little front end damage, not much, just from hitting those guys when they all checked up.
Let's stay up in the press box. Go ahead.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. Congratulations, John Hunter. Considering some of the stuff that your dad was just talking about, without the testing and so forth, and some of the resources, the time and the stuff that you talked to your dad about, and Jerry, and even opportunities like Kevin Harvick, how important do those things become, and how much do you feel they contribute to what you've been able to do on the track?
They're very important. Any information as a rookie driver coming to a racetrack like Atlanta that you can soak up, it's only going to make you better for the day that you're going to go and race there and in the future. I mean, everything that you can learn while you're young, coming up through the ranks, it's only going to help you when you get to that top level. So to have guys like Jerry, Dad, our GM engineer, Lonnie Rush, and then being able to go and talk to Kevin last night. I mean, you talk to all these guys, you learn so much from them. They have a lot of knowledge, so you can pick their brain, figure out what you want to learn, pose the questions right so you get the right answers, and you know that they're going to shoot you straight for whatever you ask. So all information that you can soak up is better.
I just want to add to that. It's so hard when you bring a new driver to a track like Atlanta. And Atlanta Motor Speedway is one of the hardest tracks to get around. I mean, you can do it. You have new tires, sticker up, you're going to go fast because there's a ton of grip. But figuring out how to get that balance right, this is one of the hardest tracks to do that. You know, I think tomorrow in the Sunday race with the low downforce package, the fans are going to see one hell of a race. I mean, it's so hard to know how to have your car set, and there's so many people struggling with it. And just from Jerry and my experience, and then also Kevin telling them what you have to do to, what kind of balance do you need? If you're off on that balance, you're going to pay for it 15 laps in a run. And we missed it at the beginning of this race. I thought we were going to be a lot closer at the beginning of this race, but we weren't. So we went after it. We made some major adjustments, but we knew what we were doing, and we got the thing a lot closer. But very, very hard bringing a new guy to a new track without testing.
Well, congratulations to John Hunter, to Joe, to Jerry, and all the folks over there at the number 8 team. Congratulations. Congratulations on making the chase, and continued best of luck the rest of this season. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.